GM is making waves again, not just by making bold steps into the future with electric innovations and jaw-dropping performance, but also with some quite unexpected surprises. The company is bringing a plethora of new models for 2025 and it's taking American engineering to the next level while honoring its iconic heritage, making what seems to be a perfect blend. GM CEO announces 5 new models for 2025 and wows everybody, so make sure to stay with us and take a detailed look. Number 5. Chevy Camaro EV. The 6th generation of the iconic pony has just said goodbye to the loyal army of its loyal fans, but it won't take too much time before we see the legendary nameplate on the road again. According to officials, the new model is already in the works and it'll be all electric. From what we know so far, the most important detail is that it won't follow the Mustang's path and become a crossover. In terms of design, it'll stick to its roots, designed around athletic dynamics, while another important aspect will be the price, which is expected to be quite affordable. Simply put, Chevy wants to bring the Camaro back to its roots, back when this nameplate was synonymous with low-price performance. With commercial success in mind, the idea was to offer a new-age pony, affordable enough to have a broad appeal beyond hardcore enthusiasts. What would that exactly mean? It's hard to say, but we could hear from some officials that the price could be similar to that of the Equinox EV, suggesting that with federal tax, of course, its price could actually be lower compared to the recently discontinued gas-powered version. And while it won't come as a crossover, we're not sure if it would come as a 2-door coupe either. Maybe Chevy could come up with something a bit more practical, stretched and with 4 doors. In any case, the technical aspect is pretty clear, considering that the Ultium architecture underpins everything in GM's lineup from Equinox to GMC Hummer EV. The Camaro would come with 3 electric motors in its most powerful variant, but we're pretty sure that base versions would stick to the nameplate's traditional design approach with rear-wheel drive only. Number 4. Chevy El Camino. Playing the nostalgia card has turned out to be quite risky for Chevrolet, considering the level of disappointment the new Blazer brought a couple of years ago. Now, it's time for another big nameplate to come back, and this time, the stakes may be even higher, because Chevy is bringing back the iconic nameplate, the El Camino. The legendary coupe ute has been out of production for decades, but it still has a big cult following, and those die-hard fans will probably be disappointed with the new design. On the other hand, a wider audience might find the new design quite appealing. The new El Camino won't be a coupe ute. It won't feature roaring V8 engines either. No, these are different times and the old nameplate will be used for something quite different. Chevy is eager to join the newly formed compact pickup segment, and there's no better way to start than to apply the legendary moniker. But the new El Camino won't compete with a Ranchero, but with a Maverick. It'll come with a double cab design riding on a unibody platform. Speaking of the platform, the VSS architecture is a safe pick. It is easy to predict that many parts are about to be shared with the new Equinox. That would also include the powertrain, which could be one of Chevy's trump cards in this fast-growing segment. Namely, the new truck would feature a hybrid powertrain based on a 1.5-liter Turbo 4, capable enough to hit 60 in about 7 seconds. And it'll be a plug-in hybrid with 2 battery packs on offer, with 16.5 and 24.4 kilowatt-hours in capacity. The former should provide around 60 miles of range, while the bigger battery would certainly set new standards in the segment, with over 100 miles of range in electric-only mode. At the same time, the new El Camino will come with an attractive sticker price, probably around $30,000. Number 3. Cadillac Vistique. After the Escalade IQ and the super luxurious Celestiq, Cadillac is coming back to a more reasonably priced side of the spectrum. The next EV novelty is coming with the Vistique nameplate, and it brings a design that could actually turn out to be very successful. Just one look from the outside and it's clear that this model was imagined as an all-electric alternative to the XT6. It features similar size and proportions, while aesthetics are pretty similar as well. But unlike the XT6, the Vistique won't be an underachiever. First of all, it won't lack performance like the ICE counterpart does with its naturally aspirated V6 and front-wheel drive-based design. Instead, it'll come standard with a dual motor setup with a total output of 615 horsepower. That will be plenty enough to hit 60 in about 3.7 seconds, but quick acceleration is just part of the equation. There's also the advanced suspension setup with adaptive dampers as standard and air springs available as an upgrade. The stylish, luxurious, and well-built interior will be part of the Vistique's offer, but its key selling point, at least when it comes to the interior design, will be the fact that it features 3 rows of seats, which is still pretty rare in the EV segment. Moreover, the 3rd row is actually pretty spacious, so we could say that this is going to be a genuine family hauler. Attractive design, respectable performance, and practical interior will all be complemented with what we believe is a quite reasonable price, considering that base versions will start under $80,000. Number 2. Chevy Corvette EV. America's most iconic sports car has already gone into electrification with the recent premiere of the hybrid version called the E-Ray. That one, with a mix of a V8 gas engine and electric motors, is good for about 1,064 horsepower, while another even more powerful version, named after the legendary designer Zora, will be good for around 1,200 horsepower, meaning that the Corvette has definitely stepped into hypercar territory now. But that's not all. Chevy is also preparing a Corvette for the new age, which means that the all-electric version is in the works too. That model is expected to be ready already next year, and it should be one of the fastest sports cars around. The exact output is still a mystery, but we presume that with the same electric motors as the GMC Hummer EV, the most powerful variants could easily put out over 1,000 horsepower. That version will feature 3 electric motors and all-wheel drive, with 2 motors in the rear and 1 in the front. Of course, we also expect a rear-wheel drive version as well, with 1 or 2 electric motors mounted on the rear axle for a genuine Corvette experience. In any case, all that power will be enough to ensure blistering acceleration with 0 to 60 in a bit over 2 seconds, which would put the electric Corvette on par with the fastest Porsches and Ferraris. GM engineers will have to find a nice balance between weight and autonomy, and we expect that the all-electric Corvette will feature between 300 and 350 miles of range, depending on the version. Of course, benefits from the Ultium battery technology will be there, considering the 800-volt battery architecture, which could provide up to 300 kilowatts of charging rate. In the Hummer's case, that's fast enough to add 100 miles every 14 minutes. In the Corvette's case, it would be even quicker. Details about the price are yet to be announced, but considering that the internal combustion versions already go north of $100,000 in their most capable variants, it's pretty clear that the Corvette EV's price will also measure in 6 figures. Number 1. GMC Syclone. GMC is bringing back one of the most iconic models in its history, the GMC Syclone. The original high-performance pickup truck is on its way back, and given the status the old model enjoys, expectations are nothing but extremely high. Back in the day, the Syclone made a revolution in the truck world with its street performance stance and that wonderful 4.3-liter turbocharged V6 with 280 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. That was more than 3 decades ago when such power and torque figures were reserved for sports cars. Just like the original Syclone, the new model will be performance-oriented, not an off-roader, but rather a street-oriented performer with lowered ground clearance, performance tires, stiffer suspension, and similar things. But some things about it are still a bit unclear. While most sources suggest it would be based on the Canyon or even be its high-performance variant, some sources suggest a unibody design. But even more intriguing is the matter of the engine. GM currently doesn't have a turbocharged V6 on offer, considering that it stopped development and put all efforts into electrification. There's the possibility to use Cadillac's 3-liter twin-turbo, but that refined powertrain would make the new Syclone cost a fortune, which probably isn't something GMC has in mind. So there are 2 possible solutions. One is to see further upgrades on the 2.7-liter Turbo 4, which is currently rated at 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, and the other one is to go with 8 cylinders, and that's definitely something we're leaning toward. We guess we'll find out pretty soon, considering that the big comeback is planned for next year, eventually 2026. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.